Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me again. Today I wanted to talk about basically an update video on topical steroid withdrawal and life after TSW. So as many of you already may know, I had gone through TSW and had been steroid free for 3 years in April, May, June, July, August, and 4 months. So 3 years and 4 months, y'all. I wanted to do like a 3-year celebration, but I didn't have time to do the video, so here I am today. So stay tuned if you want to hear everything that I have to say. I'm going to answer a lot of your guys' questions that you have had that I didn't answer in the first video. And if you haven't watched the first video, I will leave it up in the card somewhere so that you guys can click on it and go check that video out if you are going through TSW now and need some tips on how to get through it. All right, let's get started. I get all these questions from you guys about how my skin is today and if I'm really healed. Yes, I am really healed. I really don't have anything on my hands, my arms, my face, my body, no parts of my body. I am no longer going through TSW. So for those of you guys that ask me like if I'm going through TSW anymore, no, I have not had a flare-up and I don't even know how long. It's been over a year since I've had like an actual flare-up from TSW. So I'm pretty much out of the TSW flare. I'm basically in now what I consider to be still phases of detox. Only reason I say that is because I know that prednisone and cortisone have some long-term effects, or side effects I should say. Like one of them for example for me is blurry vision. So when I had first got on the steroids and I was on really high doses, I had really bad vision. So I had normally like 20/20 vision prior to that, and then when they put me on high doses of steroids, I could barely see like the car's license plate in front of me. It got pretty bad. And then I knew it was going to clear up once I started detoxing, which it did, and I'm completely good in my left eye, but my right eye, I still have some blurry vision. So I know that I'm still kind of like detoxing some of that out of my system, but as far as like my skin goes, I am 100% great. Now, with that said, I know that a ton of it has to do with things like me working out daily. Sorry if you guys hear kids in the back. We have neighbors on both sides and there's kids on one side, so you'll hear some kids kind of playing in the backyard. But anyways, a lot of it has to do with the food that I eat, and honestly, I'd be lying if I told you that my lifestyle didn't have anything to do with it, because it does. I eat mostly a ton of raw fruits and vegetables daily. I exercise daily. I meditate. I am very focused on my stress levels and making sure that they are minimized or little to none as possible, because it's super important for the body and the immune system. So those are some things that I should note there. The things that I do on a daily basis, that's going to have to be in a whole nother video if you want more in-depth insight on my daily life and how I basically detoxed. So I got some questions about, do I still have insomnia, edema, any itching, any like basically any side effect of TSW? No. So I don't. I sleep so good like a baby, and I have been for a long time, even in the last time that like I talked to you guys in the last video. If anything, the only reason I'm staying up is because I'm working on creative stuff and being a night owl. But I get a ton of sleep. I don't have any edema. I no longer suffer from any itch attacks anymore. Thank God, because those literally used to put me in a trance where I'd be just sitting there just itching my skin off. You guys, if you are going through TSW or you have really bad eczema, you already know the itch is uncontrollable. Like there is no stopping it at all. So I'm so glad I don't have that. Haven't had that in really, really long time. I don't even know, like you guys, I'm coming to you with this video like I don't deal with TSW anymore. And I know a lot of you guys go on my social media, and I do try to spread awareness about it, but I'm not constantly talking about it 24/7. Although I do like to continue to show other people like, look, you can heal. It is very possible. Do not think that, you know, what the doctors are telling you that you will never heal. That is not true. You totally can. You have to believe in yourself. Oh, another question I get a lot is, did your hair fall out? A lot of you guys know in my last video, yes, my hair was falling out in chunks, and now look at it. This is all my hair. It has grown so fast. Like I can't even believe my hair in the last video, which was like last year, was like this short, and look how much it's grown already. Um, I I am baffled. This is the longest and quickest that I've ever seen it grow in such a short period of time of just 1 year. Could only imagine like next year or a year from now how long it's gonna be. I'm loving it. I missed my big thick hair, so that's been amazing. So your hair will grow back. Also, but my hair fell out not only in my hair, but in my eyebrows. My eyebrows basically went like bald. So there was a point of time it was so patchy it didn't really look like I had any, and they got really thin. And then the hair on my body actually fell off all too. But I never, like, even now, I don't have a lot of hair on my skin, or thick hair, I should say, except for on my head and my armpits kind of sometimes too. I'm just being real. But everywhere else, my hair is not very thick. So when my hair did fall out of my arms, my legs, my chest, like, I mean, just everywhere, that little, just natural body hair just fell out of my skin all around. That obviously grows back too. The scarring definitely lightens up naturally, especially if you are eating well and getting sun and exercising. So on to the next question. Do you still have eczema? So eczema, or if you didn't know, now you're going to know, it's very different from TSW. TSW is a steroid withdrawal. Eczema is a underlying issue that stems from a virus attacking the body, and it feeds off of foods, heavy metals, and different things within the body, which basically protrude through the skin when they excrete their poop, basically. So growing up, as you guys know, I did have eczema as a child. So I did use the steroids for that. So if you are going through steroid withdrawal and you never had eczema prior, but you had to use the topical steroid for something else, like a surgery or something, then of course when you go through steroid withdrawal, you won't have any issues with eczema, right? Because you didn't have eczema. But for me, I did have eczema. So I assumed, like, I may have eczema when I come out of the steroid withdrawal, depending or not if I detoxed enough of the heavy metals, and of course I stopped eating those foods a long time ago when I found out about medical medium. And so I want to say the eczema that I used to get as a kid used to be like way worse. It would be all on my arms here. I used to get it on my upper lip, my eyelids. I used to get it behind the creases of my legs, and that was pretty much it. But it was like kind of really itchy and severe and like really dry. But now, today, I actually hardly ever get any eczema, but I'm not gonna lie, I wanna keep it 100% transparent with you guys. There have been times if I'm eating certain foods, eating too high in fats, or like for example, when I say certain foods, like too many grains, then the body will still be overwhelmed with that. How do I explain it? So with all that said, do I still have eczema? I would say on such a mini, like minor scale, yes. And when I say that, I mean like maybe one little eczema flare up that wouldn't even really be considered like eczema. Like it's literally like a dry patch that will just pop up maybe once every, this happens like once every 5 months or something. Like my skin does not, and when I say that, I'm not talking about the eczema that like I used to have when it just itched really bad or was like really red and raw. Like no, this is literally like a little baby dry patch, like maybe this small, and I actually get it or had got it on my neck. And what I noticed is that I had only got it when I was eating a lot of grains. So if you don't already know, the medical medium talks about when you're healing from autoimmune disease or any type of chronic illness, that things like grains or even sometimes legumes, what they do is they don't feed the virus, but they don't give the body a good foundation to combat it either. So he always recommends to remove them if you are in a very bad situation with your health. So for me, all I did, like literally, like, you know, normally like, oh my gosh, I got this like little patch, but literally nobody could even see it. It didn't bleed, it didn't crack, didn't split. It literally like looked like a little dry patch that was like a little bit irritated. I'll show you guys a picture because I took a picture of it. And I got that like one time. And then it happened again another time that I had like was having a lot of grains. And the only reason I was having a lot of grains is because I was testing out a lot of recipes for my vegan meals. And I was making a lot of baked goods. And so a lot of baked goods, I use a lot of oat flour, gluten-free oat flour. But I noticed I had to remove it. And as soon as I removed it, like it went away, like within 2 days. So that's how I knew, just like your body is always going to talk to you. So make sure that you listen to your body. Let's go to the next question. Is your skin still sensitive to things? So this one is tricky because my skin used to be sensitive to everything while in TSW. It used to be sensitive to, I would say, even eating certain fruits and vegetables, just because certain fruits and vegetables make your body detox. And then it causes you to itch more, and it's trying to push these toxins out of your skin at a much faster rate. So, but as far as like fragrances and lotions and stuff like that, for one, I should say I don't use anything with fragrance, and I never will. After I learned how chemically altered they are and how many chemicals there could be in one fragrance, over like 2,500, I was like, absolutely not. But you know what I find is super interesting? Isn't it crazy how like when you're going through steroid withdrawal, you basically become like a human detector for toxic chemicals? Because think about it. You're super sensitive to fragrances, which have a ton of bad chemicals. You can be super sensitive to certain foods that have a lot of chemicals in them. Not the foods that I was talking about, like the fruits and vegetables, but like if something has a lot of pesticides. I know for me, if I ate somewhere that didn't have organic food or something, I noticed a difference. Also, what else was I going to say? Oh, also, even when it comes to like mold exposure and stuff, I noticed a huge difference when I was in an environment where someone's house had like mold, or it was like really wet inside, or I seen some mold inside the home. My skin freaked out. Another thing is all of those like home cleaning toxic supplies. Oh my gosh, absolutely not. My skin would freak out. So it was just like basically you're a human detector for toxic ingredients. So for myself, I had to make sure I completely stayed away from those things. Then I never used any fragrant detergents or anything like that, so I didn't have to worry about that, and I will never use them again. Like I said, once you learn, you just never go back to those things. And even when it came to like makeup and stuff, couldn't wear any toxic makeup, so that's why I use like a natural makeup now, which I love. And yeah, it's really changed my life, but I don't use any of those things anymore. And I would say for me, one thing that I actually didn't talk about in my last video was that my cats used to make my skin super sensitive. What I mean by that is I would get like little hives. I didn't even really get TSW. It was more of like hives because I was sensitive to their fur. Now, mind you, my cats are inside-outside cats, so they come in and go out, and there's like a little bit of a field in the back where there's like dry grass and they're running around. You know how cats are. So I wouldn't allow them on any of my things or in my room, because even if I touched them and touched my skin, I would start getting like hives, basically. And so I just felt so bad because during a lot of my steroid withdrawal, I could not cuddle with them like with my skin. I would have to put like layers and sweaters on just to cuddle them because they were like, Mom, why won't you love us? And I felt so bad, but my skin was so irritated I couldn't deal with it. And of course, I'm not giving my cats away. Those are my babies. So even now though, that's something that I'm so glad has gotten so much better. It's not completely gone yet. So like I've noticed, but it kind of seems like that would be something like regular people that are just allergic to cats. But for me, I'm not allergic to them, but I do still get sensitive to them. So for example, if I hug my cats or brush them and I don't go wash my hands after and I touch my eyes, they may get a little itchy. But it was like way worse in TSW. Like literally if their hair just blew by me, I felt like my skin was going to freak out and it was all bad. So I'm so glad that that doesn't happen anymore as bad, but it definitely is something that I still think that's another reason I know my body is still detoxing, because my skin shouldn't be so sensitive to cats, or it didn't happen with dogs. I want to know if you guys were sensitive to cats or dogs. I wasn't really that sensitive to dogs unless they like licked my skin, but cats for sure. But I wonder, I've noticed kind of a lot of people, I think with the cats, not as much with the dogs. I'm not sure why. I think your skin's just so sensitive to everything. So yeah, that goes with that. Next, do you use any oils or lotions? So my first video, I told you guys I didn't really use that many oils or lotions. And the truth is now that's changed. I use bits here and there. Now, if I'm not going anywhere or I don't have anything to do, my skin isn't really super dry. But if I want to go, if I'm going somewhere to an event or a festival or something and I want to be glowy, you know, like how my skin is now, I'll put on a little bit of coconut oil or a blend of oil. I like this one by the Honest brand. That's really cool, but you really don't need to buy any. Like, you can literally stick with simple oils. I suggest if you're experimenting, start with one carrier oil. That's good for the skin, so you can do something like jojoba oil or argan oil or coconut oil. Coconut oil was perfect for me. It didn't bother me, but coconut oil does clog my pores on my face, so I wouldn't use it on your face. It can kind of be irritating to the face for some people. Not necessarily irritating, but like acne causing or blemish causing. I don't know why. But for the rest of my body, it was totally fine. You guys ask me this question all the time. How long do you think it'll take me to heal? You guys, I have no idea how long it's going to take you to heal. I didn't even know how long it was going to take me to heal. And to be quite honest with you, I thought that I was going to take like a year. And I took 2.5 years. And that was with lots and lots of detoxing and OD, like eating raw and no salt. Like, you know, I went to some extreme lengths. I was in a very uncomfortable state. So I was like doing whatever I needed to do just to feel comfortable. And that's what worked for me. So I don't know how long it's going to take you. Like I said in my last video, Dr. Rappaport says that for most people, you'll get through the worst of it within the first year, meaning like you'll be able to function usually after the first year. And I can say that it definitely got a lot. I don't know though, you guys. For me, it was hard until like a year and a half. Because after a year, I went through like really bad dryness where it was just, the itching was so bad. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You guys know if you're going through it. But basically, like, the dryness and trying to get comfortable and just itching all the time and your skin kind of cracking open. It wasn't raw anymore, but it was just, like, dry. That was really hard. So it really just depends. I would just say don't compare your journey to somebody else's, because you don't know how long it's going to take you to heal. I hope and pray that it would take you little to no time, but unfortunately the quickest I've seen or heard of anybody healing was like 6 months, and that's like rare from what I know of. So for most people it usually takes, I would say, a year to 4 years. Like I said, Dr. Rappaport says within 4 years you'll be good, and I haven't even hit 4 years yet. So like I said, it was 2.5 years for me that my skin like finally started clearing up and I stopped having issues and I was able to eat the food I wanted, as far as like cooked plant-based foods instead of raw. But I knew that my body needed to do that cleansing. So if you're in that state and you're trying to compare or trying to, you know, figure out your timeline, don't do that, because you can really depress yourself, because you can really kind of put yourself into almost like a depression trying to set these timelines that you may not adhere to. And it's not your fault. You just have to work with your body and know that your body is working for you, trying to detox. Don't beat yourself up. Okay, this is not a race. Take this time, and that's what I try to do. I used to really take the time and envision myself with beautiful skin and really manifest it. Like, you can do this. And it was hard. And some days, like, you don't want to look at yourself. Some days you don't want to be here, you know, and it's hard to say that, but there were times, like I said, I didn't feel like I wanted to kill myself. I didn't go through that type of depression where I wanted to kill myself or be suicidal, but there were definitely thoughts in my mind, like I said, that I don't want to be here anymore. And so if you are feeling like that, please talk to somebody. If you are feeling like you do want to commit suicide or that you don't want to be living anymore, please talk to somebody and call a suicide helpline. Because what's crazy is looking back, those thoughts, I didn't have those thoughts of suicide, but the thoughts of like me just kind of wanting to disappear and just not be such a burden. I felt like a burden on everybody. If I would have, like, looking back at that, it didn't feel like me. I didn't, your hormones and your stress, cortisol and all of these organs are all out of whack when this is happening. So you're just really not going to even feel like yourself. You may just feel sad for no reason, even if you're having a good TSW day. So I suggest you definitely talk to somebody. That's really important. And I'm just sending my love out to you guys because I've been there and I know how bad it is. And I know how bad it feels to be in this situation. Okay. With that said, next thing. There's a few things I kind of want to talk about too, as far as like things that I didn't talk about in my last video that I find that may be kind of helpful. So, for example, how did you wash your hair while in TSW? Did you wash your hair? What did you do with your hair? So this question is something like, obviously you have to have longer hair or hair if you're female or male to even ask this one. But basically my hands were so bad and ripped up, it actually hurt for me to submerge them in water or to even take a shower, right? But also especially to wash my hair. Now you'll notice a lot of your shampoos and conditioners have a ton of perfumes, strong products, and chemicals. Now imagine all of those getting in the cracks and crevices of your bleeding and cracked skin. It's not fun. It's not fun. So what I did was I actually stopped using shampoo and conditioner in the beginning until I figured out what kind of shampoo and conditioner I could use that were toxic free, natural, vegan, and had no perfumes. And until I did that, I used baking soda to clean my scalp, and I used flaxseed gel to style it. And I made flaxseed gel with flax seeds to kind of detangle it and stuff. And then to be honest with you, I went weeks without touching my hair. I didn't even want to get in the water, let alone brush my hair out. So I literally would just throw it up in a bun, or I put it under a hat. Like, I never really dealt with my hair. The issues with your skin are so bad, you just don't even really want to deal with your hair. And thank God for me, at the time, I didn't have to go anywhere, or I wasn't forced to go anywhere to like have to do my hair all the time. I wasn't working, I was on disability. Like a hair's like touching me. So if I had something to go to, like an actual event or something, then I did my hair, but it was very rare. I never really went anywhere. I stayed in meaning in the house, but I definitely like got out a lot in the backyard and got some sun. That was like really important for my skin journey as well and healing. So that's what I did for my hair. And then what I also found that really helped was there was sometimes I couldn't take showers. I'll get to that in the next question. But so when I wasn't taking a shower but I needed to wash my hair, I got those dishwashing gloves and I'd put those on and I'd just put my head under the faucet and I'd shampoo and condition it that way. And then I ended up finding this brand that Medical Medium recommends, which is Derma Change, I think it's called. I'll leave a picture of it here. But basically that's what I've been using, and I've been using that for years now, and I love it. It doesn't have a smell or anything to it, but the conditioner is really thick and the shampoo is very cleansing, and it's not really stripping. So it works perfect, and I detangle my hair with the conditioner in the shower, and I actually don't put any product in my hair after that. And look at my hair now. Hello. Ooh, the sun's kind of creeping over here. Maybe I should move a little more. Anyways, next question. Did you do moisture withdrawal? So I talked about this in my last video. yes, I did moisture withdrawal, but I think a lot of us have different ideas of what moisture withdrawal is. So moisture withdrawal for me, I just didn't put any water or any substances on my skin. When I went through moisture withdrawal, I didn't do any of that. Now, I see a lot of you guys doing moisture withdrawal also internally and like preventing yourself from drinking certain fluids. Highly don't recommend that. It's your body, your life. You can try whatever you want to do, but that just doesn't even make sense to me, and I would never do that to my body. Especially, I want you guys to think about this a little logically, okay? Your body is in a highly, highly stressed state, and your skin is very, very dehydrated, and your cells are trying to replenish themselves and remove these toxins from the skin. Now, if you don't drink any fluids or a certain amount, or you stop at a certain amount, preventing yourself from that intake, what do you think that is doing to your cells? It's dehydrating them. So if you think about what water and living water from juices could do to the body as far as healing it, like for example, watermelon could hydrate the body on a cellular level because of all of the living water in it. That's just an example. And it's going to hydrate the cells in order to help them rebuild and move out toxins. Why would you prevent your body from doing that? Now, something like that, I couldn't fathom. It just didn't make any sense to me. And also with my own body, I was able to experiment when I wouldn't have like certain juices, or if I didn't drink enough, like I made sure I hit a certain amount of juices and stuff each day. If I didn't hit that, I had got all these little like wrinkles around my face. When I did hit that, my face got plumped up again and it looked really smooth. So this is exactly like things you want to just like pay attention to your body. Like, does that even sound logical? Just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean you should do it. So, and that even goes for what I'm telling you. If you don't feel like it's right for you, don't do it, but listen to your body. Seriously, that's exactly what I did, and that's how I'm here today. And a lot of the other people that, have gone through steroid withdrawal, they may have done different things, but listen to your body. That's the best advice I could give you. But with that said, I've also healed my autoimmune disease of ulcerative colitis, which is large bleeding ulcers in my large intestine, by eating and drinking the way that I do and living the lifestyle that I do on a 100% plant-based lifestyle. And also making sure I'm working out, having a good mental state, and really keeping my stress levels low. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I did not do the whole drinking aspect of it and omit myself from drinking a certain amount of water. Absolutely not. If anything, I drank way more fluids to feel better. How often did you take showers? So with this question, it gets tricky because when you're at different phases of the TSW cycle, in the beginning phase, for example, I lived in the bathtub with the Epsom salts. That's the only thing that made me feel comfortable and not itchy. Then I got to a point in the TSW withdrawal where I hated water on my skin. It would literally make me itch more. And it was for some reason more something about warm water. So like when I was taking a shower, my body hated it. I would get out and I would get hives all over. My skin started itching. It was like the water contained some type of poison or something. My skin was just not having it. So what I did during that period, if that's you, like I said, listen to your body. Now, if that's you, what I suggest you do is don't take showers. Don't get your body wet. I know that sounds really disgusting, but that's what I did. And honestly, what's crazy is you'll see your skin actually starting to heal. And that's why a lot of people do the moisture withdrawal, right? So that's what I was doing. I stopped not only putting moisture on my skin, stopped taking showers. And of course, you're like, that's disgusting. Like, did you even clean yourself? Yes, I got those body wipes and I would wipe under my armpits and my private parts. And I wasn't going nowhere anyways. So, I wasn't going nowhere looking crazy. I just stayed home and got rest, got sun, ate well. And sometimes I think the longest I was able to do it was probably like 2 weeks. no lie. And I'd never done that in my life, and that sounds really gross, but to be honest, I didn't smell or anything, but to be honest, I saw my skin rapidly healing when I would do that, and I wasn't having the flare-ups as often. But as soon as I would go after that 2 weeks, and I knew, I was like, okay, I'm pushing it kind of far for myself, uncomfortable wise, of like not taking a shower, and I would take a shower, and right after that my skin would flare up and I would have a flare. So if that's you, I totally suggest you just not take any. I just got this hair. I suggest that you try that and like not take a shower or not get your body wet and see how it works for you. Just try different things. Listen to what your body's telling you. The only reason I was able to figure that out is because I noticed every time after I took a shower, my skin would just freak and spaz out. Obviously, I wasn't putting any oils or lotions or anything on. I didn't put any oils or anything on till the first, what was it? In the first 2.5 years, y'all. Like, actually probably I really didn't start putting much on until like 3 years. So, yeah, just wanted to say that. What products did you use for your weepy skin? So while I was in the weeping phase within the first few months, you guys, I didn't even know I was going through TSW. I didn't even know I was going through withdrawal. Like, I just would wake up and my sheets were bloody and weepy, and like this smell was kind of like coming out of my skin, like smelled metallic or something. A lot of you guys will know what I'm talking about. But basically, I didn't use anything because I just was scared to put any products on my skin. And I noticed anytime I even put like oils in the beginning, when I wasn't sure about what was going on, my skin would just freak out. So I just left it and let it dry. I've noticed the best thing that you can do for the weepy skin is like letting it dry out. And a lot of people use zinc cream. I never got any or used any. I was just scared of anything, you guys. I was scared of all products, so I didn't use any of that. You know, zinc is very natural, so as long as there's no other weird ingredients in there, I suggest trying that. Dr. Rappaport also suggested that to me as well, but like I said, I didn't use anything. I just let it just dry out, and I felt like that was the best thing for it, because if you think about it, your skin is trying to open up so that it can push toxins out. What's covering it with a layer of something going to do? It's going to make it feel suffocated, right? Just like logical thinking. So I just would let it air dry. Next question: what is life like after steroid withdrawal? If I could sit down with all of you guys and tell you how amazing your life will be after steroid withdrawal, I wish I could. I wish I could. Because the lessons that I learned while I was in steroid withdrawal cannot be replaced by anything. Going through that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life, but it taught me some of the biggest lessons I think I will ever learn in my life. It taught me how to be okay with being alone. It taught me how to find self-worth in myself outside of my physical body. It taught me patience. It taught me how to find beauty and love and peace in the most simplest forms. It helped me get closer to God. It helped me believe in myself. It helped me manifest. I did so much manifesting while I was in that withdrawal, because I would just visualize myself with beautiful skin again every day. You know, even when I'd look in the mirror sometimes and I was doubtful, I just said, you know what? No, your skin, Michaela, is going to be so beautiful one day. Just watch. You're going to bounce back. I don't know when it's going to happen, but you're going to bounce back like it never even happened. And here I am. So I definitely know that believing in yourself is a huge deal. I don't want you to feel pity for yourself. You can't sit here and feel pity for yourself that you're going through this. I know that this is hard, but you sitting there feeling sorry for yourself, you know, maybe have a pity party for like 5 minutes. I'm not gonna lie, there were a few breakdowns that I had, cried it out, got back up, lifted my head up, and kept moving, because that's the only thing that you can do is focus on moving forward, and you will get through it. You will get through it. And when you understand that it's not about if you heal, but when you heal, that's a game changer. And I'm so thankful for Dr. Rappaport, and shout out to the few people that were on YouTube at the time that told their story and how they healed. And it gave me hope too, and I hope that it gives you hope. For me, a big reason for me to step out and talk about my journey was not just to help other people, but also because I didn't see any people of color that had steroid withdrawal. So it looks different on us, people of color. Our pigmentation is different, and all I saw were white people that mostly had TSW, or Pacific Islander or Asians that had TSW. I didn't see any blacks or Latinos that had it. So for me, it was really important that I kind of step out and show pictures of myself, because it does look different. Instead of really getting so red sometimes, I felt like the hyperpigmentation was a huge thing that I didn't really see happen to people with white skin. I had got like a lot of dark blotchy spots. So I didn't really have nobody to compare what I was going through to. So I just wanted to be an advocate and show other people of color like what it looks like on us, you know. And even though I'm a shade much lighter than some other people that may have a darker skin color, it does still affect us in a different way than it does with people with lighter skin. So I definitely wanted to show others that have more color or melanin in their skin what it looks like. Another question I get all the time is, does the hyperpigmentation go away? Yes, it does. So I want you guys to know that hyperpigmentation is an issue of the liver. So even if you don't have TSW and you have hyperpigmentation, it's a liver issue. So once I had figured that out, I just knew that I had to, sorry, it's like plane, but I basically knew that I had to really reboot my liver and try to give it the best environment possible to thrive. And that's why I started eating raw. I'll have to do a whole nother video on the whole raw eating. And I also had to remove lots of fats. I removed fats right for the 7 months. If you watched my last video, you knew I ate raw vegan for 7 months. So by doing that, it allowed my liver to detox much faster, because fats slow down liver detoxing. So, and that's all fats too, right? Like I talked about in the last video, nuts, seeds, avocados, obviously other fats too, but I'm plant-based, so that's why I mentioned those things. And the hyperpigmentation does go away. So for me, I had it all over my face, all over my skin. Like I looked really weirdly discolored in my skin. I just looked like I didn't have any life in my skin. Like I felt very zombie-ish, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean if you're going through TSW. But I would say it totally goes away. That does kind of take some time. For me, I feel like even here on my hand, I get a lot of sun, so I do have a lot of like tan to my skin, but I feel like it's a little darker here than normal for me. Only on this hand. This one, it's not like that. But so that is something that, like, you know, I guess we can say that is still kind of going away for me, but it's not an issue. Like literally, I'm just happy to have good skin. Another question I get all the time is, will the wrinkles be permanent or will they go away? And let me tell you, they will go away, I promise. One thing I will say about that though is that they do take a long time to go away, meaning they didn't really go away until the end of my TSW journey. And even after my skin stopped flaring up, I did notice still like some wrinkles like in my eyes if I was really dehydrated or if I didn't get that much sleep, or even in my hands, I noticed like it just felt really dry, or like it just like the skin, like I don't know, you can kind of see it maybe now, not really though. It's like literally it's so small that it doesn't bother me at all. And like I wouldn't even really consider, like those aren't wrinkles, but I could just, the skin feels like I can just feel it much thicker there, if that makes sense. Only on this hand though, but there's no itching, there's no flare up, there's nothing. It's just like the skin. I think because for me, the first place to get TSW was on my hands. The last place for me for it to be gone was also on my hands. So it's the last place to heal for me. And yeah, but as far as the wrinkles go on your face, I mean, look at this picture here. I had a ton of wrinkles everywhere, and this was like in the dry phase. Like I just looked like an old lady, and I'm 30, but I looked like I was like 60 there, and I was like scared, like, oh my gosh, am I gonna look like this forever? But then when I saw a lot of before and after pictures of people, you know, in TSW when they're healing, like it all went back to normal. Your skin has the ability to replenish itself again. So just know that it's all gonna go away. Give yourself time. With the whole wrinkles thing, I noticed it was like huge with dehydration. So like if I didn't drink enough fluids, or like if I didn't have my lemon water or celery juice, I just felt like so sucked up. Like my skin felt like it was like not quenched. But as soon as I would have that lemon water, I would do 32 ounces of lemon water, I still do, and 32 ounces of celery juice. Oh, honey, the skin was popping. I'm wondering if there's any other questions that I'm missing. But I feel like this video is getting really long, but I know that you guys need it because I know my video just cut out. I'm gonna close this out, and I just wanted to give you guys some words of encouragement. Stay strong. You got this. I have a link to my whole story in my blog, and I'll leave that below. And I also have a whole video on the 10 tips that I used to heal TSW that I found were really helpful for me, that I wanted to share with others. And just don't give up. I promise you guys, this will be probably the hardest thing you'll ever do, but you will be the most changed person from it, and you will look at life so different. And if I could take it back, I wouldn't. That's the truth, because I learned so much about myself. I was able to go within and heal and find places in myself that needed love and go there. And now I dedicate myself to helping others. So this whole transformation was amazing for me, and I wouldn't take it back. But anyways, I love you guys. We will do another video or update soon. If you guys have any questions, leave them below. And I know that I said that I'm going to do a video also on the foods that I ate. So I'm definitely going to do that too. So you guys stay tuned, because a lot of you guys wanted to know what I ate while I was raw. So I'll do a video on that as well. And I should do a video too on what eating raw was like for 7 months. Anyways, I'm over here running out of storage, so I'm going to close this up. I love you guys, and I will see you guys next time, and hang in there. All right? You got this. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.